Look, I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney personally wrote this ad to revive the Third Reich, but American Eagle absolutely knew what they were doing here.
Let me be the first to say that I think Sydney Sweeney is a dream girl for millions of men across the country. She's the closest thing I think we have to a Hollywood starlet like Marilyn Monroe. She's beautiful, she's stunning. But I am here to say that we all need to be rushing to Sydney Sweeney's defense right now because she is in hot water over an ad that she started for American Eagle representing their classic denim. Let's get into it. It's time to lock in. Let's play the ad.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Okay, so most of the country saw this ad and saw a hot girl in denim. It felt very old Americana, kind of like a Lana Del Rey music video, Megan Fox in Transformers. It was very nostalgic. It felt very retro, Fast Cars and Freedom type beat. But the left saw this and heard a racist Nazi dog whistle. What tripped them up was a play on words, the homophone of gene, which is the biological gene, DNA, what is passed to offspring, and genes, obviously what we wear. If you hear that and think, oh, it's encouraging the resurgence of the Third Reich, obviously, you need help. You need to touch grass. You need a mental evaluation. It is not that deep. But I think we need to look into all these crazed leftist reactions because, if anything, it shows that this is not about real fear of authoritarianism somehow coming back to the United States through eugenics because of a denim ad. It's about narcissism on display. It's about leftists mourning the loss of their cultural cachet and power. So let's take a look.
I just saw that American Eagle Sydney Sweeney jean commercial, and what the actual f***ing hell? How did it even get approved? Why did it get approved? What the f*** is wrong with you people?
The issue is it's marketing to white supremacy. And if you're fine with that, great, you're a white supremacist.
Where did they extrapolate white supremacy from? I would just like them to tell me explicitly where they got that idea, because it's not at all obvious. 70% of normal Americans, what they saw was a denim ad with a hot girl who literally made a biological statement of fact that genes are passed down from parents to offspring, and then did a funny homophone, which was then the premise of a marketing gimmick to sell the genes, which, by the way, is about sex. It's not about race. It's about sex. If you're going to make it about anything, make it about the fact that it's sexual, which, by the way, small caveat, that's not a conservative thing. Like, I'm not gonna get up here and tell you that this is a conservative ad. The ASMR of her ruffling her pants, like her hand placement, the camera angles, the sultry speaking tone, like kind of the whispery, breathy, whatever. You know that a lot of these companies' C-suites know that increasing numbers of consumers have porn brain. And that was clearly a little bit marketed toward them. So it's not a conservative win necessarily, but it is a normie win. And again, most people watching this found it unobjectionable, never in a million years derived some Nazi, like Heinrich Himmler type of thinking. You, ma'am, are bizarre for thinking that.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
All right, when's the last time you heard the phrase, you have good genes, and took it as a literal benign compliment that your family tree has good traits of physicality, of like physical fitness, of like nice like complexion? Like, it's literally not that deep. Like, they're just trying to draw attention to themselves. Like, it's about jealousy and resentment more than anything else.
You guys are complaining about that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, so I went and saw it. That's Nazi propaganda. Wow. I thought it was gonna be like kind of bad. That's gonna be in history books.
It's going to be in history books. Right, okay. Yeah, I think we should we should have stopped Sydney Sweeney in Munich before she ousted the chancellor and became the dictator of the Third Reich. What are you talking about? It's jeans, it's denim. Also, quick aside, I do find it ironic that many of the folks up in arms about this do look like the types that would be at a Hamas sympathizing protest on any college campus or in any city. The Hamas charter explicitly calls for the extermination of the Jews, so maybe focus on condemning that first before you worry about the comeback of Hitler's eugenic regime.
Totally just talking about denim, right? Just a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman explaining how her good genes gave her personality and purity. I mean, are we really going to pretend that this isn't a little fashy-coded? Look, I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney personally wrote this ad to revive the Third Reich, but American Eagle absolutely knew what they were doing here. You don't get to drop lines about inherited traits, blue eyes, and great genes while zooming in on somebody that could have walked straight off of a Nazi propaganda poster and expect people not to catch that reference.
Okay, so this is quite reductionist. If you are white with blonde hair and blue eyes, you automatically look like the Hitler Youth. That's what this woman just said. Just so we're clear, you fit the profile apparently, and yeah, you're public enemy number one if you dare talk about your beauty, which has again nothing to do with this eugenics idea she's talking about, but also just again, these people don't understand business. Like they really don't. In what world are they thinking to themselves, you know what we should really do? We should really glorify the Nazis.
For me, I can't help but think about the 13-year-old brown girl who gets all her denim at American Eagle, who already struggles to see her beauty and worth in a world that continues to value white, Eurocentric beauty standards.
Again, I feel like we need to be really clear here that nowhere in the ad did she ever affirm that one race or one genetic makeup is superior to another. She's simply saying that she has biological genes, just like you and me, and her genes are American Eagle, which is like a kind of a major flex for American Eagle to have Sydney Sweeney saying such a line. But if your self-worth, I mean, I really feel bad for this girl. It's kind of heartbreaking that she feels this way. If your self-worth crumbles at the sight of Sydney Sweeney in jeans, the problem is not whiteness. It's that you're insecure, and I'm very sorry to hear that.
I keep thinking that people just are not gonna believe us until we're hung out there, but then even then, I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with... I see the same perpetual self-imposed victimhood. You know, I did a post about saying, hey, like, these are the action steps that we really need to see from the good whites. Where I said, I need protection. Put my cash out. And she goes, well, would you just rather white women just not follow you at all anymore because da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, definitely unfollow me.
We have an epidemic of grown people crying for the internet, number one. Number two, so she's asking the good whites to basically self-flagellate here and apologize on behalf of American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney for daring to put out this ad, which, again, has nothing to do with race, but that's okay. We still have to repent for our historical evils that, once again, we had nothing to do with, our, ancestors did, and we have to grovel at the feet of the woke mob once again. It's not happening anymore. We're not doing that anymore. That's over. Sorry.
The real you shine. Para continuar en español, por favor presione el 1. Pour continuer en français, appuyez
The balls
sur
to
deux.
have this in so many languages.
Hi, thanks for calling American Eagle. This is Jess. How can I help today?
Hi, first I just want to let you know I record all calls that record me, so I am also recording. I am a marketing student and was wondering if I could speak to someone who could maybe give me some insight as to what estimated return on investment there has to be willing to use white supremacy and eugenics as your marketing campaign.
On a marketing campaign?
Yes, I recently saw American Eagle's
Oh my lord. This poor woman in the call center did not sign up for this. Like, this is literally this is not her department. This is absurd. And honestly, such a waste of her time. Like, this poor woman getting berated over the phone by some crazy woman just so she can get engagement, like just for engagement baiting. She's gonna reprimand a poor tech support woman who's probably in India or something. Like, what are you even doing? The irony of a hysterical white woman calling the American Eagle customer service and a minority woman with an accent picks up the phone and she is employed by American Eagle. I think it's important to note that the Democrats right now are really struggling as a party to lure back, recruit young men to the party. They hemorrhaged young men in the 2024 election. They flocked in droves to President Trump for no secret because Trump actually didn't demonize their masculinity, make them feel like they're unwanted in society, told them that there actually is a place for them and that they are very much valued and respected. If Democrats really want to win back young men, they should probably not hate on everything they like Sydney Sweeney, a beautiful woman, or red meat, or anything else. I said this on X the other day. I said the left hates Sydney Sweeney because her popularity is symbolic of their failure to reprogram young men into aesthetic relativism. And I stand by this. The left tried to culturally condition young men especially to like ugliness, between body positivity, which glorified obesity, or any of these other trends that basically told young men, if you actually like someone who's fit and healthy and takes care of herself, you're actually a bigot. That didn't go over very well. Instincts still prevailed. Men still have the same aesthetic tastes as they always did. They just had them privately, and they were quieter about it. And Sydney Sweeney gave them permission to like what they like out loud. Reality won, ideology lost. Leftism really isn't working in business anymore because it alienates people. It alienates customers, and therefore it hurts the bottom line. There's another case study on this very recently with Stephen Colbert, now former late night host, who recently got canned from CBS. For more on that, click here.